A witcher known as Geralt fights a creature named Kikimora in a magical place on the continent. Finally, Geralt was able to hunt the monster, but because he is a witcher, he faces discrimination from many. He meets Renfri there and offers Geralt a drink. Geralt is then taken to a tower by a young girl. Geralt notices the door is magical and walks through it, only to find that the Stregobor has produced an illusion of a paradise with beautiful ladies. Because Renfri was born with the Black Sun curse, Stregobor requests Geralt to kill her. It is claimed that all the women who bear the curse would bring about the end of humanity since they carry the curse from birth. Renfri is the only woman who remains after Stregobor began killing ladies in order to stop this. Stregobor wants Geralt's skills because Renfri has mutations which is immune to his powers. Geralt, however, declines, claiming he only hunts monsters. After Geralt departs Blaviken, Renfri approaches him in the forest and asks to know where Stregobor is. She explains why she wants to kill Stregobor. Being a discriminated against mutation, Geralt bonds with Renfri while being neutral. When Geralt awakens in the morning and discovers that Renfri has left, he immediately returns to Blaviken and finds himself trapped by Renfri's group. Next, Geralt kills each gang member individually. Then Geralt hears a girl pleading for help and realizes Renfri is holding her hostage. Geralt tries to control her with a magic sign, but she is resistant to magic. Renfri pushes the girl away and then starts a fight with Geralt, who, not wanting to hurt her. However, Renfri keeps fighting, leaving Geralt with no choice but to kill her. Then Stregobor and the locals arrive. Geralt meets Stregobor with his sword when he claims he wants to do an autopsy on Renfri. In response, Stregobor confesses he murdered a number of individuals in order to infuriate others around them. With everyone shouting at him as a butcher and throwing stones at him, Geralt is forced to leave the town. Many years later, while hosting a feast in the kingdom of Cintra, Queen Calanthe is unexpectedly informed that an empire is preparing to invade. She quickly gathers her army and proceeds to the battlefield alongside her husband, Iced, and starts a bloody battle. Nilfgaard's numbers eventually overwhelm them. Iced believes they ought to leave, but Calanthe won't give Cintra up. Suddenly, Iced is killed by an arrow, causing Calanthe to have an emotional breakdown. Afterward, at the Cintran castle, Princess Cirila and advisor Mousesack encounter the wounded Calanthe, who has finally retreated and is close to death. Mousesack builds a magical wall around the castle in order to block the Nilfgaardians temporarily. When the enemy enters the entryway, a fierce new battle breaks out, with the Nilfgaardians using their vicious brutality to murder both troops and civilians. Cirila is told to escape by Calanthe since Nilfgaard has come after her, and suggests that Cirila find Geralt. In the meantime, in order to ensure that everyone dies with honor, the royal knights give everyone poison to drink. Deaths take place in every room. Cirila is advised by Mousesack to take a horse and ride away with a knight. Cahir, the archer that killed Iced, kills the knight using an arrow, and Cirila falls off her horse, allowing Cahir the opportunity to capture her. Cirila sees her kingdom flaming as they ride. Cahir gets so angry that she screams. When the horse becomes frightened and they both fall to the ground, Cirila continues to yell, causing pain in Cahir's head while simultaneously forcing a massive monolith to fall across them. Then Cirila runs into the woods. Going back to Geralt, he takes a break many years later at a little tavern while Jaskier performs songs about monsters. A farmer meets Geralt just before he is about to leave and offers some money for him to kill the monster that has been stealing his grain. Jaskier is looking for adventure, so he decides to follow Geralt. They eventually arrive in an open field when Geralt gets hit by a small creature that is hidden amid the plants. Afterward, Jaskier and Geralt find themselves cuffed within a cave. They encounter Filavandrel, the elves' king. After mankind drove the elves from their homelands, they now live in hiding. Geralt argues that rather than losing more elves and fighting, the elves should leave and rebuild. They are simply proving them correct. Geralt and Jaskier are released by Filavandrel, who views them as just another human victim. A hunchback girl named Yennefer is attacked by two teenagers for being unattractive in a tiny village many years ago. As a result, Yennefer unintentionally teleports. Following that, meets Istred. She arrives in an unfamiliar location and is greeted by Istred, who comforts her that she is at Aretuza College, where she will be learning magic. But finally, Istred opens a doorway to allow her to return home. After that, Tisaya, an Aretuza teacher, pays a few pennies to purchase Yennefer. Yennefer has been limited to a room in Aretuza. Then Tisaya sends Yennefer off to school. Yennefer is the only one who doesn't succeed when everyone attempts to perform magic. When Yennefer is depressed, she searches for Istred and becomes friends with him. Tisaya brings her students to an open-ceiling cave one evening. They have to capture lightning, and only Sabrina succeeds in doing so. Then she gets to know that her biological father monster was half-elf, and Yennefer is really a quarter-elf. Later on, in the future, Cirila hears soldiers searching for her and she runs for cover. Following that, she attempts to pick some berries but encounters Dara, a boy, who advises her that the berries are poisonous. After hunting some rats, Dara gives them to her, and they decide to stick together. When they come to a Cintran refugee camp, Cirila rushes there. Cirila is then approached by a boy who has elf ears hanging around his neck. Cirila has been asked to spend the night in his family's tent by the youngster. The camp is attacked by Nilfgaardians in the darkness of night. When the tent is suddenly cut, Cirila gets pulled out and finds it's Dara. They witness Cahir searching for her. As the youngsters escape into the forest, Dara reveals to her that he is an elf after he pulls off his hat. Later on, Cirila hears odd noises calling to her, waking her up. She enters the woodland after the noises. Dara stops herself from following her with arrows that are aimed at the branches. Back in the contemporary day Temeria, a dying child tells Witcher Remus about the monster that attacked him. The father hires him to kill the beast, so Remus traces its bloody trail. He moves silently at first, but eventually, the monster kills him. After getting to know about the incident, Geralt goes to Temeria to look into it. Then Geralt makes an attempt to volunteer Ostrid and the royal knights to destroy the monster. It is then that Triss, the royal sorcerer, makes her appearance and declares that she desires Geralt to rescue the creature. Later, in the castle, Geralt discovers that the monster-attacked dead bodies are missing just the heart and liver, and he realizes the only creature that eats like this is a striga, a cursed female. This proves that the being is, in fact, the unborn princess. When Triss introduces Geralt before King Foltest the following day, Geralt tells him the truth about the creature. Foltest, enraged, orders everyone out, but doesn't give any answer. Geralt gets removed from Foltest's kingdom. Rather than heading away, Geralt and Triss sneak inside the crypt. Within a music box, they discover a number of letters. The letter is written by the princess to Ada, which is why he gets to know that he is the kid's father. Geralt gets to know Ostrid is the person who made the curse. Inside, Geralt ties Ostrid to the bed and confesses about the spell he used, convincing him that he must fight the striga until dawn to release the curse. Striga then kills Ostrid. The striga then looks for Geralt, who has to battle her without taking her life. Instead of using his weapon to battle her, Geralt uses a magic sign to push her away. The striga attack him once more, but not before he sets up a magical barrier at the entryway. The striga tries to get free after he's down, but the barrier Geralt has put in prevents her from doing so. When Geralt emerges in the morning, he finds that the striga has fallen to the girl, indicating that the curse has been removed. The girl, unable to handle being human, rushes on Geralt and bites his neck as he approaches her. After Triss heals him, Geralt awakens a little while later. In the past, Yennefer finds out later that she will be going to Nilfgaard. Then, as the new sorceresses are being presented to their kingdoms with a ball, Yennefer visits the enchanter, noticing it as an attempt to achieve beauty. She'll be forced to bear it awake because he can't get the herbs ready in the limited time remaining to put her to sleep. She has to give up her fertility as a payment for the transformation. Soon after, Yennefer arrives at the celebration and surprises everyone with her incredible attractiveness. She gains the position she desires and dances with her country's monarch right away. After a few scenes, Geralt is regarded as a hero by all for killing the monster. Jaskier asks Geralt to act as his bodyguard for an upcoming royal party. As soon as they get to the castle, Mousesack recognizes Geralt. He explains that a large crowd has gathered to request Calenthi's daughter Pavetta's hand in marriage. A man who is trying to get past the guards to ask for Pavetta's hand abruptly interrupts the party as it is getting underway. He is identified as a humanoid hedgehog. Urchin initially defends himself against a troop of guards, but eventually they overwhelm him with their sheer numbers. Geralt intervenes to save him just as he's going to be murdered. Unexpectedly, Pavetta rushes to embrace Urchin, disclosing that they have been having a secret relationship. Then Urchin tells how he once saved the monarch from dying and how, as a reward, he asks for the law of surprise. According to Pavetta, she wishes to wed Urchin. The building could soon be destroyed, as the pair finds themselves floating in a mystical wind vortex. Everyone says they're okay with the wedding after a little time in darkness, and Calanthi is forced to acknowledge Urchin as Pavetta's husband. Additionally, Iced proposes to Calanthi, leading to a double wedding. Following a beautiful ceremony, Urchin becomes human when he kisses Pavetta, since pure love removes his curse. In the future, Cirila keeps following the voices and discovers a stunning light. Then, Dara questions Cirila in secret. forcing her to acknowledge that she is the Princess of Cintra. She is taken to visit an old tree and forced to drink its sap. After taking a sip, Cirila finds herself in a desert where a tree asks her identity. Next, there's a fake mouse sack that asks to visit Cirila. Glad to see a familiar face, the girl walks off with Dara following. The group notices something strange about Mouse Sack as they start talking. Dara strikes Mouse Sack Doppler when he tries to drag her by force. Following several scenes, Dara discovers Cirila tied to a tree and acts hurriedly to release her. He criticizes her for giving up safety, accusing her of bringing only death and terror, similar to Calenthe, and then he leaves her. After getting by herself, Cirila arrives in a tiny village and steals a horse to get around more quickly. She's falling asleep in an open field that night when a group of males approach her out of somewhere. However, over time, Yennefer and Geralt have developed a relationship, but with misunderstanding and differences in ideas, they break up and leave. Yennefer, along with her gang, defeated the Nilfgaard, finally being able to save only herself. In the meantime, Geralt finds a destroyed refugee camp and collapses there after a fight with monsters. He gets wounded there and suddenly wakes up on a wagon. Geralt continues to see memories of his mother and early years due to his wound. Meanwhile, when Cirila awakens, she finds that her magic has murdered every man and her horse. After locating her, a woman brings her home and says she just wants to be of help. Understanding that Geralt is her destiny, she manages to move out in search of him. Since this is also the residence of Geralt's rescuer, the wagon soon arrives. Geralt gets off the wagon and walks into the forest as he overhears the wife talking about a girl in the woods. When Cirila and Geralt finally meet together, they share a hug. We really hope you enjoyed today's recap of the movie The Witcher 2019. Please leave a comment below on what you loved about the movie and why. Be sure to like the video, and please don't forget to support our channel by subscribing so you don't miss any amazing content. Until next time, light, camera, action. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.